Well, I've been here at Harvest for 11 years, and I just got married this past summer in July to Yuri Schallhorn. And I teach kindergarten, K-5, and exciting age. So, but the Lord's done a lot in my life. I got saved when I was 16. The Lord actually took me off the streets. And before that, when I was 6 years old, going on 7, my father died on Christmas Day. And it was me and my older brother and my mom. And for a couple of years, my mom really did her best to take care of us and everything, but she didn't turn to the Lord. Instead, there was a lot of anger and bitterness and a lot of hurt in her life. And so instead of wanting to take care of the kids like any mom would, she just the anger and the hurt of my father dying and it being on Christmas Day, she left. And she left with her boyfriend. And first it was just a weekend, and she would come back, and then it started becoming longer, than a weekend, maybe several days. So my brother watched out for me. I became a neighborhood kid. I grew up in a small town in Louisiana, and so I would be outside, and all the other kids would be already in eating dinner and taking their baths, and I'll still be out playing in the dirt. And so one of the moms would come out and get me and bring me in, and so I think, looking back, that they probably knew the situation. And so anyways, when my brother turned 18, he left for the military, and he was my security. He's there to watch out for me and everything. And also it was my godparents. Their names are Bruce and Iva DeBrule. And they knew my father before he died. They have two sons that are around my brother's age, so he plays summer ball with them, and we would go cook out with them and everything. So after my father died, they ministered to our family. They tried to reach out to my mom, and I would go over there on the weekends with them, and they would take me to church. So that was how my first introduction to who God was. But in my mind, I thought God was somebody out there somewhere, and so when I got into my teen years, 13, 14, the freshman, sophomore year of high school, and my brother was not there, and my mom had come back home with her boyfriend. Now he moved in with us. Before, she was always gone with him at his house, but after my brother left, he moved in, and that was a really tough time. I built anger and bitterness in my heart to my mom, and why she didn't stay to take care of us, and me and my mom didn't have a good relationship, because I was angry at her for not being there when I saw other moms there taking care of their kids. And so all that anger and hurt, I reached out to the world to fulfill those things. I got into drugs, I got into alcohol, I got into the parties, not because I thought it was cool, but because I wanted to be accepted. I wanted to feel that emptiness that was in there. And maybe it helped me forget, and maybe it numbed it, but it didn't heal anything. And I wake up after the partying, after the drugs wore off, and my life was still the same. And I was believing a lie from Satan that the world has the answers and it doesn't. And so I found myself several times waking up in people's carports, didn't even know where I was at, and several times I ran away from home and just, here on the streets, there with these so-called friends that were partying. And there's a verse in the Bible that talks about God takes us out of the pit, and I was there. One afternoon, my mom's boyfriend was at the house, and very nasty man. I know, I look back and I know God protected. But he beat me, and my mom didn't stop him, and so I ran away. And all I wanted was my mom to love me, and wanted that unconditional love. And I remember I was like, man, I wish something would happen to me. And you know what? I look back and I know I wasn't alone. God was there. And God was watching over me. And you know, there's that verse that says that we don't go to God, God comes to us. And I know that even though I wasn't searching for God, God was there. And the Lord knew all that was going on. And so I found myself again on the streets, you know, I wanted to die. I didn't care. I had no hope. And then my godparents stepped in. And I got in a lot of trouble with the police, with underage drinking, with just juvenile delinquent. And so I dropped out of school, my 11th grade of high school. I dropped out, and anyways, my godparents stepped in, and they said they would take care of me. And so the judge took custody away from my mom and put it in my godparents, into their hands. And so I moved in with them a couple of weeks before school started, and I had to, you know, go back to school, and my parents showed me that unconditional love for taking me in. One day I was sitting in church, and the preacher was talking about what kept Jesus on the cross. And I heard the story, you know, before when I came, and but I thought, how could God love somebody like me? I knew I was a sinner. I knew I messed up. How could God love? My own mom couldn't love me. And he said that what kept Jesus on the cross was not the nails. It was his love. And he said the verse, while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. And I was sitting in that church, and it was like the preacher was talking to me, and I didn't know all about this Christianity. I just knew that's what I was looking for, to feel that emptiness inside. And I got up and I said, you know what? Here's the broken pieces of my life. God, whatever you can do with it, please use it for you. I give it to you, because I know what I've done with my life in my own hands. Here, God, take it. And that was my prayer. That was my, you know, and I know at that point in time, God saved me. God, I gave you my life, and by faith, I trusted that Jesus died for me, and that he shed his blood for my sins. I should have been on that cross, but Jesus took my place.
By his grace alone we have been saved, rescued